This is Lauren.
This is Trey.
And this
is the Partnership Podcast. Hello. On this week's episode, we get some clarification from each other about last week's podcast. And we've been diving into attachment styles, like what we go to in health, what we go to in unhealth, and that's been rather fascinating. Enjoy.
Hey. Good morning. No, I know you love logistics. It doesn't stress me out when you logisticize. The only, I guess, maybe it would if no, I don't think it does. I think it sounds like you're not asking me to solve something. Mm-hmm. When sometimes you will say, like,
checking in and trying to organize shit.
You will try to get my brain on stuff. That's probably what you're remembering, is that sometimes my brain will feedback like, like I don't have capacity for me to jump in and logisticize on that thing. But I love it when you do. It's one of my favorite things about you. It is.
Just checking in. Is there something like heavy you wanted to talk about?
No, I was just going to tease you right off the bat. I was going to be
sorry.
Like,
yeah.
No.
I took it as like, okay, here we go.
No. Well, no. When I watch film back, it's really interesting because sometimes I'm like, Lauren, why didn't you say? So instance.
You want this
yeah. I meant to say. Here. Thank you. You're welcome. Put it on driving. Yeah, sometimes when I watch film back, I'm like, why didn't I, not stick up for myself, but why didn't I put something in more context? Sometimes I'm like, it's good. I recommend it for all people. Film you and your bae having conversations, and then consider what your inner dialogue was. Consider if you showed up as your truest self, because last podcast, what the audience didn't see is we got out of the chairs and my body was in like a weird nervous system space.
Yeah.
How long did we talk post podcast last time?
Probably another 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it sucked.
It really sucked. We should have kept the cameras rolling. Everybody loves those ones.
Yeah, I guess, but this was the first time where I was like, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this shit anymore. Yeah. Where it's like, if I'm going to feel this way getting out of the chairs, I don't want to do this. And
what spurred that, oh gentle audience, was pre us recording last Wednesday morning. I sat down at the kitchen table and said, hey, what do you want to talk about today? Because I was hoping that we were really going to talk about silly, sexy stuff. We've had a lot of really neat attachment work that we've been doing that I really want to talk about today. And I was just in the mood. I was in like a playful space to talk about that. And great. What I didn't say any of that though. I said none of that at the kitchen table. Instead, I was like, what do you want to talk about today? And you said, can we just save it for the chairs and go from there? And 9 times out of 10, it is perfectly fine when we do that. And usually we hit the tennis ball back and forth. You share something you want to talk about, then you ask me. And yet last week, I tried to describe it to Trey. It's like we got in the chairs and then we went down some road that I did not know we were going down. And then my nervous system was like, okay, I guess we're talking about this, but I don't want to talk about this. But my clients know that I do a lot of, it's not what you don't want, it's what you do want instead. And I had never voiced that. I had never voiced what I wanted instead. And then I didn't know that we were wrapping up after only 30 minutes. I had no idea that that was going to be a shorty podcast. And yeah, it was like watching a little train wreck when I watch me. I don't think it actually looked that bad, but I want to do better about that.
Is there anything I need to own?
Yeah, not own. There's something, you didn't do anything wrong. Can I request something?
Sure.
Yeah, that just before we wrap up, that you say, hey, is there anything you want to talk about?
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
Can I request something? Mm-hmm. If I don't say that, is it okay if you voice what you want? Mm-hmm. Right.
Can I say something back? If I do that, will you know that I'm only doing that because there is something I really want to say? Sometimes I don't say that because I can read your body language. I know that you're out of energy. And so I guess I'm afraid that if I say, I do want to talk about this, that I'm going to get a respectfully, babe, I just don't have any more gas in the tank.
But it's also okay that I do that, right?
Yes.
This was so confusing for me because I immediately went to, and this sucked after we stopped the cameras, I just went to like self-blame for some reason versus curiosity. Mm-hmm. And then it goes to like, wait a minute. And then it goes to kind of disappointment. And then it goes to well, what the fuck? Because I am now like, I should have seen this. I should have asked these questions. I should have anticipated this. And then it goes to like, oh, wait a minute. Is that my responsibility to read her mind? And then it goes to, will you just share with me what you actually want? Mm-hmm. And then it goes to, why isn't she sharing with me what she actually wants? Why am I so frustrated? And then it goes to, fuck this. By the podcast, I mean, not the marriage. Not the marriage, first wife. So, yeah, that was hard. That was hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad it's on tape, though, because I think it's really good that everyone sees that we all do these things. All of us.
It is neat where it catches our awkward stuff.
Yeah. Because what's really funny is, like, we don't spend all day having those types of awkward conversations. No. Usually there's just like this beautiful flowing of energy between us.
Yeah, it's actually it's really hard for us to like have a full enjoyable day when we're out of sync. Mm-hmm. It's hard.
That was a hard rest of the day. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And we took little bits to repair and hugs, and you weren't ready for hugs at one point.
Yeah, where I shuddered because you said, I got you. Mm-hmm. And then that's like, wait a minute. So, because I will go to isolation. Mm-hmm. I can take care of self, because that's what I've known since I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was encouraged to do when I was celebrated for being independent and stuff like that. And so when you said, I got you, that was a big like, whoa. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't feel like you did pre-podcast, during the podcast, mm-hmm. post-podcast. Mm-hmm.
And we talked about one of my triggers in that moment was when your nervous system goes to self-blame. One of my nervous system triggers is triggered of there's no space for me. All I was trying to say was, this was an ouch. I don't think you intended to do this. May I share my ouch? And it was not met with, oh, babe, I'm so sorry. That wasn't my intention. I love you. Like, do you want to record again? Are you good with this? And I would have been like, no, it's fine. Just ouch. I couldn't, due to some work circumstances and all this other stuff, I couldn't really share what the text was really about. And the phone, there was so much that I didn't feel at liberty to talk about that's not appropriate for air. And I had just wanted to be seen and heard and witnessed. And we talked about this. We talked about it then. And so then we had two people in these chairs. Y'all, we were literally sitting like this. So Trey's over there, self-blaming. I'm over here. Yeah, we're both going to isolation. And I'm just, like, oh, I wanted to share and I don't get to share.
And that's why I have to keep, even right now, I feel like I need to check in. Did I silence your voice and you expressing that you wanted to talk about something light and fun and nice? Because this was the third?
No, it was...
For the second, this was a huge day for me as far as like being on task and being structured. Because I had so much shit to do to get ready for, we had friends over for the 4th. Mm-hmm. So I had just a full day of stuff. Yeah. And...
No, and that's what I wanted everybody to see. I think that perfectly loving partners can unintentionally hit a speed bump or go on a detour that takes them down the wrong road. You didn't mean to do that.
You didn't mean to do that also.
My failed attempt, I could tell you were in task mode from the moment we got up, and I know you love it, and you were doing it the day before you were giving yourself a rest day before. It was beautiful. I loved how you did it.
Yeah.
I could tell you were in that space. So when I sat down at the kitchen table, it was for that. It was so we can be succinct and you can get to the rest of your things. I was hoping to support you. What do you want to talk about today? And normal, and it's totally fine. You responded with, let's get in the chairs and see what happens. I didn't know, though, that you were going to bring up the phone thing. To me, that was like not a thing I would have spent our 30 minutes talking about. Totally fine.
Okay. The ultimate way of you supporting me that day would have been to, I want to talk about something fun and light. This is what I want to talk about. Or ask me. Hey, ask me what I want to talk about. No, I'm just at the breakfast table. where it's like, I want to talk about something fun. I want to talk about something light.
Right. And
I want to talk about something
my
sexy. And I
bad,
would have been, yes, great.
my bad was I had not thought about that first.
Okay.
I sat down and asked you a question. I had not asked myself the same question. And oddly, usually you do.
Okay.
Usually we're in a partnership where if I sit down and I'm like, hey, what do you want to talk about this morning? You will usually say, I don't really know. I'm sitting in the chairs. Do you have anything you want to talk about? Usually you say that.
And checking in. Did you feel silenced by me not asking?
No, my lover.
Okay. All right.
I don't. You did nothing wrong.
Okay.
Does your nervous system literally say, like, I must have done something wrong?
My nervous system goes to protection modes where it's like, what the fuck? State what you want. That's where it goes for me.
It's
I can't
like
read
it goes
your
to
mind.
Angry at me. Why are you angry?
Eventually it goes to angry at you because in mine, it's like all of this could have been avoided
Okay.
if Lauren had stated what she truly wanted. But I'm hearing that you didn't know what you wanted at that time. And then it goes to, am I silencing my wife?
Okay.
Then I have to check in with self.
Good. Okay. I don't. Yeah, I think. Now I feel like attacked.
Why? And this is scary for me, where it's I share my true feelings and you feel attacked.
Yeah, there's something in my body. Yeah, because I wanted to come on and talk about.
Some fun, light, sexy stuff.
No, that I did want to bring it up
Yeah,
because we needed to, because stuff happened afterwards. And I thought it had been resolved. I don't know. I don't know why it still stirs up. So like.
Me too. Yeah, I feel it stirring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
and
it.
so then I felt like in order to I felt like I was just being ranked.
Ranked?
And this is trauma from childhood.
Ranked or wrenched?
Ranked,
Ranked.
put back in my place.
See, baby, I'm just sharing what's going on in my mind.
I know, and I was just sharing what was going on in my mind.
And you feel attacked by me sharing what's going on with me.
No, but I felt like you felt attacked by what I was saying.
What were you saying?
Like, just the whole nature of it. I felt like I feel that there is space for you to say very strongly, it makes me say, what the fuck, share what you're thinking. I can't read your mind. And I feel like you can really strongly say that at me. Mm-hmm. And I don't feel like I can strongly say the same things to you. I feel like they would make you defensive. They would make you upset at me. And yeah, doesn't feel fair.
Checking in. Well, okay. Checking in. Am I silencing that in some way? Or do you not have permission to say that from yourself? Am I not giving you permission because of the consequences? Or are you not giving you permission to do those things?
It's really interesting. I am done with Emily Nagoski's new book, The Come Together, right here.
COME together. I think she made a big mistake.
It does reference. I mean, it's supposed to be a double entendre. It's good. But she talks in one chapter about the gender mirage, and I can feel my body going to old gender thinking of women are second, men are first, men are to be the winners, women are to be the givers, and I just need to help Trey win this thing. And I don't know how much you're doing and how much is the mirage of gender roles. I don't, because I know who you are in your soul. I don't think you're not that person. And yeah, what my body feels is that the defensiveness silences my ability to be in the emotions it makes me feel. And that's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're free to say what you want to say, honey.
Say what you need to say.
You're free to be defensive yourself. You're free to access your anger or your frustration. And I'll listen. I'm not going to go over the top of you.
Yeah, I feel like somewhere they'll be like, because I don't do that. And I wonder if it'll push a button and the rage monster will come out at me, I think.
Okay.
I think I'm scared of that. You've never done that.
I've never done that once. Okay, and that's not how we talk. Okay.
Yeah.
Is your fear of being frustrated, and is it on me?
No, but I mean, I almost want to play that piece of, I know you don't watch all of our podcasts sometimes. I almost want to play it back for you because it's like me saying my thing and then it's like you coming on top of and saying, yeah, but this is how it, like, it's like, I feel like that's what happened.
During the last podcast?
No, just recently, just a few minutes ago.
Okay.
And instead of a mutual understanding of that, it's like, okay, Lauren, if there's nothing for me to own, this is what you can do next time to make it better.
Those aren't my words, though, right?
No, so you don't say that.
Oh, okay.
Well, you said you can tell me what you want.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. And I think it's okay that there was just a boo-boo. Like, I was ouched. I was boo-booed.
Yeah, and it's okay that I was ouched and I was boo-booed. And I would have loved to go back and gone to curiosity versus, like, self-blame and what the fuck.
Yeah.
Would have loved to.
Yeah.
Were you menstruating? Was it day 1 or day 2 of menstruation also?
It was like day 0, like I was about to start. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Right. So all of the amplification of emotions that sit in me anyway. Are you just so thrilled that we started this podcast off talking about this?
No. I would have
What's
liked to
going
talk.
through
You
your
know what
body
I
right
would have
now?
liked to? This is now back-to-back weeks. Something
Light,
fun,
sexy,
airy.
I want to come give you a hug and a kiss. Sorry, all I get.
We got any more coffee left? Did you drink a lot of coffee?
I do have more coffee left.
Yeah, you take care of me. Feel well. Thanks, baby.
You want to go get the coffee pot?
Is there more coffee?
I think there's a little bit more than that.
I would like more coffee. I would like you to serve me that way. Don't bump the cameras though. My first wife is getting the coffee pot. I would like some coffee. Make sure and hit that like and subscribe button whenever you get a chance.
I mean, best friend Kay said that she felt like she was in trouble and she hadn't even done anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's those of us with this weird
Did we
man
both?
trauma.
Okay, did we? Well, I mean, some of us have some woman trauma too.
Yeah,
Let's be.
No, I understand. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Totally.
Let's not be fucking sexist here. Do you feel like we both? I feel like I got in trouble and I didn't know what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And isn't it fascinating to watch? And I mean, this is perfect segue into our. Good grief! I'm like a million miles tall. Our attachment work that we're doing, right? Our primary attachment figures in childhood shaped how we show up in partnership. And this whole thing shows that, doesn't it? Because if you did something, like why did you hide report cards, for instance?
I didn't want to get yelled at and I didn't want to get punished. I didn't want to do the work either. So that was a solution. Back in the day, they actually got mailed to you versus you get like
That's
updates
hilarious.
on an app. There's nowhere to hide now, kids.
Our baby now, sorry. We get the text.
Yeah, we get real time when the
as-
teacher's bing, bing, bing. You know.
Which, thanks again. You brought her grades up last semester. That was so fun.
She brought her grades.
She did, but you gave her a partner in it, and she felt seen because you two were so similar instead of her father and I, which are like, we don't understand you. Don't you want people to be happy with you?
Yeah, with your
And
like
think you're-
A's. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It's public school. Who gives a fucking shit? She knows how to read.
You two have seen right
She
through
knows
the
how to
system.
speak. She's good.
She writes so well. Okay. Yes. So you were afraid of like being screamed at, and I was to be less than.
Okay.
It just was. That was my goal in life, was to grow up, be a wife and a homemaker and a mom, and to submit to my husband.
And that feeling still kind of comes out of like nowhere sometimes.
Yeah, just like the feeling that you're being whatever.
Punished.
Yeah. You know how that comes up in you? Mine comes up the same way, where it's like, whoa, right? And usually it's when we've erred, which that's what's so sad, is that we're human beings. We're going to make mistakes. And that's part of the juicy human experience. We talked on here about that time where I wanted a different thing in the bedroom. I wanted you to thrust really hard when I started orgasming. It didn't work, remember? It was not good. We're supposed to make mistakes. It's how we learn. And they're lessons, and they teach us something. So, yeah, but fascinating how these things come up in us. And I'm really glad we have them on tape. So our gentle audience can be like, oh.
You want to talk about something different?
Yeah.
Yeah. Love you the most, honey, though.
I love you the most. And
we're allowed to ouch each other. I really want to go to curiosity versus like self-blame or criticism. Yeah, I don't want to go to my defaults of, because that whole day was for other people. Like the whole day. And, I want to do those things like willingly.
Yeah. And then delegate to your sweet bae, which we talk about, right? I have this motor that gets like running.
Yeah.
When we're going to do something like that, and you can perceive all the things that need to get done. So you can always delegate away to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Ironically, we said, so that was, I want to say we filmed on the 3rd and then we hosted on the 4th. And yeah, it was one of our best hosting times ever. So it's almost
fun.
like we got the frustration out of the way Wednesday morning. So by Thursday afternoon, you were napping. I was rocking and rolling. We were ready early.
I spaced it out over 2 days of like getting ready. People didn't come over till 4. There was a thunderstorm on the 4th of July. It was so fun.
Oh, it was. We both said, it was one of our best times hosting. It was.
Shout out to paper and plastic cups and everything, and forks and spoons and
Sometimes
bowls.
I insist on doing plates and real stuff.
You can insist all you want. We're never doing it again.
What I was going to
will
joke
silence you then.
is that it makes such a mess.
Officially, timestamp silenced.
I think, I need to have like a cap of if it's 6 people and everything we're using can fit in the dishwasher, I'm allowed to use like plates. If not, no plates. Not even 6 people. I can't even use plates with 6 people.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see. Let's talk about that on a different podcast. Because already these feelings of anger are coming up.
They're coming up. Let's talk a little bit about, we've been doing a lot of attachment stuff recently.
Fuck yeah.
And it's been amazing.
Yeah, it's been good.
We've been having some of the best conversations we've ever had in our lives.
Yep.
Why? What's going on? What are you loving about, like, high level, all this attachment work that we're doing?
What was the chart that was so interesting where it's like health?
What you just said, yeah. Imagine a long line, y'all, with like arrows on either end. And this was a different attachment graph chart than I have seen. On one far end is isolation, and then the other far end is fusion. And this author, Jessica Fern, talks about that a trauma-informed lens says that the people who tend to go to isolation really are seeking autonomy, are seeking agency, are seeking to stand on their own. And that the people who have a tendency to go towards fusion are really seeking connection. And that we tend to partner up with someone who goes to the opposite extreme. And so that is called the distancer pursuer dance.
I'll put it up. I'll put a graphic up right now.
Awesome, because I just made one for Sex Ed for You,
Sweet.
My company. And when I look at it that way, like, oh, Trey just wants some autonomy, right? Can I give him some autonomy?
Okay, so right next to each other, imagine the pH scale.
Yeah.
So on one side, it's highly acidic, and on one side, it's highly alkalized. And both of those things at their like most condensed form will fucking kill you. Yeah. But you need both of those things to get to the middle in like a healthy, I think it's like 7. So a healthy state, which is water. So there is on one side not the acidic side, fuck that. But on one side, it's isolation, which is the most narrow end of the spectrum. And then right next to there, the healthy state is autonomy. And right next to autonomy is connection. Me and you feel connected right now. But the unhealthy state is fusion, where I need this person. Another word for fusion would be codependency, yeah?
Or enmeshment. Yep.
Enmeshment?
Yeah, but
I like that.
codependency works. But
like that.
enmeshment, like enmeshed with another.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful, different way of explaining an anxious attachment style, which would be fusion, enmeshment, versus an avoidant attachment style, which would be isolation. New way to put it.
Where do you go to in your unhealth?
So this was the other beautiful thing that we have learned through this work is I have two different styles. With my female friendships, and sometimes in this partnership, will go to the fusion thing, right? This tendency to read your mind, this tendency to over-function. And I especially tend to do it with female functions in my life because my mother was hypercritical. And so I'm just waiting. So sometimes I will try to supersede it, like guess when I'm going to get criticized and like swoop in and do something kind or something. It's wild. And I will sometimes when I go to over-functioning in our partnership, I think that's fusion. But majority of the time I will dismiss. Majority of the time I'll go to isolation. It's what we see here when I can't even voice my needs because I have dismissed so much inside of me that I'll go to isolation too, which is scary. What do you think you go to?
100% isolation. Like last week after that podcast, I was like, fuck this. I can, no, no. So yeah. I know isolation and like being by myself really well. So in places of like big time unhealth, it's like, oh, stick to yourself.
Mm-hmm. And I would also observe that sometimes that do good or good boy thing is fusion.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? And it's funny how we go ahead.
One of my big defaults is like the good boy paradox, where I'll run around and I'll be like a good waiter. So I'll anticipate all these needs and I'll do all this stuff and I'll take care of all this shit that nobody asked me, that you didn't ask me to do. And then the scales get off balance and then I get angry of like, I've done all of these things and you haven't kept up with me. And then I'll go to criticism.
So it's beautiful to think about because the like antidote to someone in fusion is allowing them to step into their autonomy a little more. It's like, hey, I got you. You go be autonomous for a second, right? And the antidote to someone in isolation is, hey, I'm here.
Wow.
Right? To pull them. It's not to say what's wrong with you. It's not to say you're broken in some way. It's saying, hey, I see you. You matter. I'm here, I got you. Isn't that beautiful to think about? The antidote to isolation is connection. The antidote to fusion is autonomy.
Yep.
Because usually I wonder we could play with this. What's a phrase I could give you when you're doing the good boy thing, when you're serving me? What's
our code word?
What's
our
a code word where I can say, basically, it's my encouragement to you to go take some autonomy time. Like, go off on your own. You don't need to serve me. Like,
got it.
Yeah, what could be a fun...
We've done such a good job lately, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to fall back into that.
Or that I'm not when I'm over-functioning, right? Because, so, me over-functioning, you good boy.
Okay, jelly bear is when we need to be like, we have very low resiliency. We're like drained. So jelly bear is like, be kind to me. What's a good code word for you need some autonomy?
Because I don't want it to feel like we're telling the other person what to do. But it's like, you have permission for this, right? Like, you have...
So put it in like a question form.
Yeah, would you like to take some autonomy time? Do you need an autonomy break?
It's a little on the nose, honey. So good working title, but we can do better. I feel it's like a rowboat or something. Like I see myself on like a lake rowing something. Yeah, in some type of like self-propelled, very calm lake, like
solo boat.
Yeah, you need a little rowboat. I like rowboat for me, please.
Okay.
You need some rowboat?
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, I want to go row my boat.
Yeah.
Now I just want to golf. Hit chip shots. I duffed a couple yesterday. It angers me.
Yeah. Rowboat's totally fine with me. Rowboat? Yeah. On a peaceful little lake, all by oneself. Remember who we are at our core. I think it's important. Okay, well then what about when we're going to isolation? Because that's what was happening in the kitchen, and that's when I said I got you, and that's when I wish there had been cameras. Because, yeah, your body, like, was like, no. And it was like a nervous system. Yeah, it wasn't even my love. It was like I was watching some core thing. Be like, just want to reject that. You didn't. You were so good with it. And yeah, okay, so when we're going to isolation and connection is the antidote.
Together time? Usually we do hugs. This is what we do when we really need connection. We'll just like regulate our breath together.
We do a co-regulation.
Yeah, so we'll do a big hug and then just kind of get in sync with our breaths. We both have deviated septum, so
it's just like a noisy exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Something about a hug. Yeah. Can we do hugs?
Yeah,
we say that pretty much.
Good at that.
Yeah. Maybe it's because we have so
hugs?
much experience going to isolation individually that it's like, yeah, can we do a hug?
Touchy. We're also very touchy people.
We are. That's why I had to come over and hug you, because I've seen us get angry on camera before, and I'm like, if we would have just touched each other,
yeah, true.
we would have gone back. And I was like, I'm not letting this day go that way. It's too long of a day. Yeah, I think the attachment work that we're doing right now is giving me so much admiration and appreciation for you, because I am realizing in a way I never had before how secure our bond is, how emotionally attuned we are. That's why, y'all, on these cameras, you see what you see, because being out of sync is so darn uncomfortable for us that we will fight to get back in sync. And this beautiful, secure energy flow between us has been important and crucial since day one. And I will fight for that.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I will.
Yeah, I really like our relationship.
Yeah.
I'd like to keep doing it.
Yeah. The podcast may go, y'all, at some point.
Yeah,
if Trey gets angry, because
it may.
To me, everything that we do needs to add value. And overall, this does. Overall, this is like a net positive. But that last time, I understood what Trey was saying, because we don't do things that damage our partnership. That's not what we're interested in. We're interested in things that help us grow. One of the most recent chapters we read about was post-traumatic growth. And I've researched this before when I came out of my divorce, because I felt so sad that I had just gone through all of this trauma, and I was coming to understand the fact that I had been in this abusive marriage for a decade. And then I don't remember who first taught me about post-traumatic growth, but I was like, hell yeah. Okay, wait a second. There's research that shows that if one desires to put in the healing effort for themselves and the other, then the growth that is possible post-trauma, mind-blowing. Yeah. Are there any seasons you can think about where we've experienced post-traumatic growth?
Fuck yeah. Like I think what do we do it every 6 months or something? Every 6 months or a year?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cliche as fuck, but when we level up or whatever the fuck, yeah. We go through it, honey. When we have hard conversations, yeah, we go through it. It was when I went back to California. That was fucking post-traumatic growth. Yeah.
Post-anniversary vacation?
Yeah, coming, yeah. Fuck yeah, honey.
And, I always want to be careful. This is not like, oh, well, great. So then couples have full permission to like keep wounding each other.
No, actually, no. It's like sharp objects around genitals.
Yeah.
well, for men. I'm going to speak for guys. It's me. I'm going to speak for our, my fellas out there. Yeah, that's our whole being, is to keep sharp shit away from our junk. So, no, I don't want to, relating it back to relationships and not talking about my penis, I don't want to hurt my wife. Like, holy shit. And I understand why people just fucking be silent, because they don't want to be hurt, and they don't want to hurt their person. And then it's just like, fucking, let's just not bring it up. Let's bottle it. I fucking get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have been some takeaways from the attachment work that we've done? Yeah, either like, day-to-day things that you're seeing or overall?
Like I've been having a lot of admiration bombs for you. Like, I've been really appreciative of who you are. And it's like, holy fucking shit. Like, my person, I just really fucking admire you, honey.
I'm not seeking like more praise. Why? Because I do the why?
Because you do the hard shit and you look at yourself and you're like, oh, this is where this is fucked up and this needs to change. And it's like, oh, this isn't fair. This is now, 6 months ago when I went to here, I now have a label for it, or I now have this is what was going on. Holy shit. And now what we can do is identify when we're going down the path of unhealth and reroute.
It's really fucking cool. Like, I know we may sound like nerds, but to be able to say, oh my God, this is what was happening. I talked about primal panic on the beach in Punta Cana when we went on our anniversary trip. To be able to give that a name, mind-blowing. Because A, I don't feel crazy. B, I can say, oh my goodness, I have identified the tools to keep me from having that experience again, to do that to you again. And it's revolutionary, because yes, do we do similar things going forward or have moments where we ouch one another? Yes, but we are not revisiting and re-wounding one another in the same ways as before.
And we're not deflecting off of the pain. We're not deflecting off of our own behavior too.
No, we're taking accountability for it.
Yeah, or we're not excusing it in the other person or in ourselves.
Y'all look at the whole podcast that's all about, like, is this the beginning of the end? There might have been 2 of them where, we both said we're not interested in doing partnership this way.
Correct.
This is not a net positive.
Yeah, but we're also interested in doing partnership.
Yes, we are.
So let's fucking solve it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this has shown me, is that the fact that I had the freedom to say, this is the beginning of the end if we can't get this together. And you immediately began tackling your work. And y'all, it's the sexiest thing on earth. When you see a partner actively taking accountability for their stuff, yeah, makes the genitals move.
And also literal stuff. Like, our lives are so intertwined that it's going to be so inconvenient to divorce. Fuck.
Yeah, but listen, as a person who had to do all that stuff, it saved my life. So if y'all are out there and
I got a shed in the back now. I can't.
Jay's just going to live in the shed. We'll do the nesting divorce model.
I can't fucking live in the shed. I got to hit rocks in there, baby.
Baby. Oh God, I was going to say one last thing. I don't remember. Oh, that shout out to workbooks and stuff together, because you and I have been having the cutest, most fun little date nights. How have those felt to you? This is what we can close out on. We had one, not last night, 2 nights ago, right? So fun to go through a workbook together.
They're super fun. We both have our own copies, and then we take notes, and then we read each other's, we listen to each other's answers. And then it's like, oh, I want to add this. I want to modify this. It's really fun. A couple of beers, a few laughs, problems are over. It's from The Big Lebowski. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know any movies, y'all. I was
homeschooled.
under a rock.
I was homeschooled. I don't know movies.
I'm like a lot of
but
fun
I know
until all of a sudden, like a pop
Broadway
culture
shows.
culture references pulled in, and I'm like, nope, don't have any. We played Fishbowl on 4th of July, and anytime somebody puts in, okay, I hope you're watching. Trey's rubbing his face. I wanted to talk about that because I often assign homework for my clients. And the ones who tend to get the, are you okay? The ones who tend to get the most out of the homework. Trey's like, keep talking. And I'm like, I have to look at you. The ones who get the most out of the homework are the ones who do things like this. My clients usually meet with me every 2 weeks or so. And if I assign a 5 gears of touch exercise, I find that it is most life-changing when within the first week, when they're not with me, they like fill out their paperwork and then they have a little date where they talk about it. And 5 gears of touch talks about, what types of touch would you want in an ideal world, which is like playful, affectionate, erotic, sensual, penetrative. And then how much are you getting now, right? So you look at where the dials could change, where the gears could change. And what I find is people who go on a little date or have a little date night at home and talk about their worksheets, then work to change before their next session with me. Mwah, the gold. So I wanted to see what you thought of workbooks and worksheets because
I'm into it.
I know it can feel silly like school.
The nice thing is it's not being graded.
No.
That's where it differentiates from school, where I don't have to do it in APA format and fucking 1,500 words and shit.
Yep.
Where I can do it in a sentence, or I can take up 2 pages. Yep. I don't have to worry about spelling. It's my interpretation of the question too. And the neat thing when we bounce it off of each other, it's like, oh, Lauren interpreted it differently.
Yes.
I'm gonna go back and do this one again. I like this better.
And same right back at you.
Yep.
There were some that Trey totally heard a different way. And I was like, oh my God, that's a different type of question. Mm-hmm. My clients will constantly come in and say, I don't know if I did this right. And I always say,
you're not being graded.
You're not being graded. And there's no right or wrong.
As much or as little as you want to, you can skip it.
And it's
we can
amazing
talk about it in session.
To hear like how people interpret questions. That says more to me than the question itself. Mm. I don't give a rat's ass how you answered the question.
Baby, the mouth.
Mm. What do we say?
Cursing. No.
We've been saying like silly curse words recently, like not really ones. Darn
It's
shucks.
like, dang it. Fuck me. Yeah.
It's been fun.
You want me to drop a C word on here?
No. I want to finish my thought. Thank you. When people who are in a partnership come with worksheets and they've both done them differently, it is beautiful to me if they can be curious, like what we've been doing too, and go, oh my God, not you didn't answer the question correctly. Y'all, it doesn't fucking matter. Mm-hmm. Trey and I have been having such a fun time hearing each other's answers to silly workbook questions. And not most of the time, a lot of the time we have answered them differently. And it's been really cool. Highly recommend, contact a sex educator. That was a good wink that I did. If you want to know more. All right, we'll wrap up this podcast. Thanks for going on a journey with us.
That was a good wink that I did.
Go to sexedforyou.com/free consult if you do want to know more about what I do as a sexuality educator. I love working with partners. Obviously, you can see the thriving partnership we have here.
We're doing pretty good.
It's my favorite. And yeah, request a consult and then we can chat for 15 minutes and I can tell you about the work that I do and we can see if we're a good fit. If not, I will refer you to a colleague. Remember, these are our ideas and thoughts and opinions. Take what you like, leave the rest. You have a right to informed decision making. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, all that juicy stuff because the more people that hear this shit, the better the world is.
Cursing.
I'm cursing all over the place. I'm so sorry. Y'all have a great rest of your day and we'll see you again soon. Bye.